RWL Rage continues now. On the last edition of Snarl, Wes Lee made his RWL debut against Eason Valek, and he's back tonight on Rage in a non-title matchup with one half of the Rage Tag Champions, Oliver Hollywood.
The next match is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Approaching the ring from Dayton, Ohio, weighing 190 pounds, here's Wes Lee.
He didn't fare too well against Eason Valek in his debut, but what I will say is that we saw flashes of brilliance, and we'll probably see more in this match with Oliver Hollywood that's likely to be a little bit more competitive.
Yes, sir, Wes Lee, no stranger to success, no stranger to accolades, and no stranger to championship gold. Wes Lee, an established performer in several different promotions, and now here as part of RWL, facing Oliver Hollywood, one of our most seasoned veterans, for the very first time tonight here on Rage.
Yeah, he didn't win against Valek on Snarl, but I still like what I saw from Wes Lee.
So did I. He's definitely got some talent.
His opponent from Los Angeles, California, weighing 204 pounds, one half of the Rage Tag Team Champions, Oliver Hollywood.
Well, we've seen Wilcox and Hollywood competing in both singles and tags lately, and we'll be seeing Tommy Wilcox in a triple threat match a little bit later on, but right now is Oliver Hollywood, the son of Hall of Famer Jeff Mr. Showtime Hollywood, making his way down to the ring for his first time encounter with Wes Lee. And both these guys, high speed, high flying, it's likely to be an excellent cruiserweight match.
Let me tell you, Don, when you've got two talents like that going at it in the ring, there's no way it's going to be a disappointment.
In counting on it, Myron, unsure this is going to be a better match for Wes Lee than his first on Snarl, against an opponent who's all about competition and not some crazy-ass sectarian agenda.
You summed that up very nicely, Tristan.
Well, I will say, with Oliver Hollywood being more of a fair play kind of guy, I'm expecting a far more competitive match than Wes Lee had with Eason Valek. Referee Tom Kanamura sounds the bell. They come center ring. Wes Lee opens up with a series of kicks on Hollywood. A hard kick to the back. And Oliver Hollywood quickly rounded back up. A discus punch from Wes Lee takes Hollywood down to the mat again. Wes Lee continuing the attack with another series of withering kicks and down goes Oliver Hollywood again. Wes Lee with a hard shot to the midsection and more kicks. This young man has some educated feet without question. Wes Lee countered by Oliver Hollywood. There's a kick to the midsection, a rebound off the ropes, and an elbow takes down Wes Lee for the first time in the matchup. Lee whipped over the top rope out onto the floor, and he looks hurt. Referee already starting the count as Oliver Hollywood takes it all the way up to the top turnbuckle. Dangerville for sure. And here he comes. Whoa! What a Hurricane Rana from Hollywood. One half of the Rage Tag Team Champions. Whoa! A vicious kick. And a moonsault followed up by Oliver Hollywood. Wes Lee finding himself in difficulties for the first time in this matchup. Oliver Hollywood gets a hold of him, slams his head into the lip of the apron. Hollywood countered and driven into the ring steps by Wes Lee. Lee gathers Hollywood back up, hurls him towards the opposing side of the ring. Woohoo! Hard double axe handle out there on the floor as Tom Kanamura continues the count. Again, Oliver Hollywood driven into the ring steps. There's a driving knee into the back of Oliver Hollywood. Wes Lee becoming very aggressive on the outside as the referee continues the count. Oliver Hollywood finding himself in some serious problems here. A head scissor and a series of knocks to the head from Wes Lee to Oliver Hollywood. And I get Hollywood being shown the entire outside of the ring. Wes Lee makes his way back inside. Tom Kanemaru continues to count Oliver Hollywood, who is back standing up and making his way back inside, and he does not look pleased. Over the top rope, Wes Lee locks him up, has him up over the shoulders in a fireman's carry. Head first into the turnbuckle, and down goes Oliver Hollywood. Wes Lee driving both feet into the chest of Hollywood. Wes Lee turns him over and covers. One. Barely just a one. Oliver Hollywood quickly kicking out of the pin. A stomp to the shoulder from Wes Lee. Lee gathers him. Oh, hard shot and a wicked series of kicks and a stomp to the back for good measure. Wes Lee extremely fast. Steps out, steps back in. Rebound off the middle rope, misses with the elbow. Oliver Hollywood deftly stepping out of the way. Hollywood sets him up against the ropes. Wes Lee quickly counters with an elbow, locks up Oliver Hollywood. Hard whip into the far right corner. Whoa, look at this. Whoa! Talk about speed. Oliver Hollywood draped over the middle rope and a little bit of a modified 619 around the corner of the ring. I don't think I've ever seen that done before. Over the top rope senton from Wes Lee, who is really showing a lot more talent than he did in his first matchup with Ethan Valek. A 2 count only as Oliver Hollywood kicks out again. Wes Lee up on the top turnbuckle, calling for it, and whoa! Whoa, he reached halfway across town to get that one. Here's another pin attempt. 1, 2. And the first really true near fall, but Oliver Hollywood getting the right shoulder up. Hollywood slams Wes Lee face first into the canvas by his arm, turns him over, follows it up with a stomp to the leg. Wes Lee counters Oliver Hollywood from a laying position and opens up with that series of kicks again, and inverted Russian leg sweep puts Oliver Hollywood face first into the canvas. Wes Lee up on the top turnbuckle again. A lot of high flying in this matchup. Wes Lee with a missiles drop kick to Oliver Hollywood. And he's going up again. Here he comes. Whoa, another senton. Scrambles in for the pin. 1, 2. You see how quickly he scampered in for that pin. That was fast. Wes Lee drives a knee into the head of Oliver Hollywood. And Hollywood making his way back to a standing position, but a clothesline over the top rope out onto the floor. Wes Lee performing rather impressively in this matchup. Oliver Hollywood laid out, the referee counting. Wes Lee takes himself out to go after Oliver Hollywood. Hollywood puts on the brakes, gets caught from behind, counters with an elbow, goes behind on Wes Lee, and tries to drive him into the ring steps, but Wes Lee quickly putting on the brakes, but he got it the second time around. Oliver Hollywood going to work on a downed Wes Lee on the outside, rallying the troops here in Wilkes Barre. Drives a knee into the head again. And Wes Lee is starting to lose the momentum that he had built up. Up over the shoulders of Oliver Hollywood, and slammed down to the floor. Hollywood definitely playing games with the ring steps here, while he's waiting for Wes Lee to get himself stood up. Must be some sort of exercise. And Wes Lee has been laid out for a good bit of time here. Finally comes to a standing position. Oliver Hollywood done with his little games. Locks up. Wes Lee hurls him towards the opposing side of the ring. Charges. There's a double axe handle to Wes Lee. Hollywood makes his way back inside the ring and doing quite a little bit of showing off here. Over the top rope. Whoa! Unbelievable. A high-risk maneuver that did finally pay off for Oliver Hollywood. Wes Lee back to a standing position here and driven right into the barricade, almost into our cameraman. Wes Lee Back inside the ring, and whoa, he did not make it, and that looked like it hurt like holy old hell. Moonsault from Oliver Hollywood after the failed high-risk maneuver from Wes Lee. Hollywood gets a hold of him, hurls him towards the opposing side of the ring, makes his own way back inside. Referee Tom Kanamura continuing the count, and here we go again. Oliver Hollywood up on the top turnbuckle with Wes Lee on the outside. More high-risk action coming up. Whoa! Big-time crossbody. Takes Wes Lee down. Hollywood escorting Wes Lee back towards the ring, gets him back inside. Here comes Oliver Hollywood in hot pursuit. And Wes Lee back up to a standing position, and whoa, what a beautiful move here, and a quick pin for the bargain. 1, 2. Again, another near fall in this rather intense cruiserweight matchup so far. Basement DDT from Wes Lee on Oliver Hollywood. Hollywood using the ropes to get himself stood up again. A slap across the chest. And a little game of tug of war with the leg of Oliver Hollywood from Wes Lee. Kick to the midsection from Lee. He's setting him up for something. Oh, man, what a nasty move. Here's another cover from Wes Lee. 1, 2. I was almost convinced that would have been the end. But Oliver Hollywood, somehow, someway, still going. Wes Lee with a snapmare and a kick to the back of Oliver Hollywood, and now Wes Lee gonna go topside. And here we go. Oh, he did not make it. That would have been beautiful had it landed. Oliver Hollywood with a snap suplex, capitalizing on Wes Lee's error. Now Hollywood going topside again. These corners, whoa! Beautiful shooting star. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. And that is going to do it. Oliver Hollywood picking up a win over Wes Lee in an intense cruiserweight matchup.
Here's the time, 9 minutes and 18 seconds. And your winner, Oliver Hollywood.
Again, he didn't win, but we saw what Wes Lee is capable of. And I'm telling you, sooner or later, he's going to make it big around here.
That's what I think too. Wes Lee certainly putting in an impressive performance against Oliver Hollywood despite the loss. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more RWL Rage right after this.